Okay, hello everybody. My name is Kimmo Yrjölä. I'm the head of sales and business management in Telia Finland Wholesale. And as told, so I'm going to give you a small briefing around the pairing capabilities of Telia Finland. Although I have some background slides as well, so that you can get the overall picture of our business. So first of all, what is Telia Wholesale? Basically, we are one of the three business segments in Telia, along the consumer and enterprise segments. Our customers are both operators and service providers, both on national scale, as well as the ones who are operating from the international environment. Since Telia was divested the Arelion business, so former Telia carrier, Telia company is now heavily focusing on the business in the Nordic area. So this is basically our playground nowadays. We have a full set of capacity and co-location services for our customers to support their own end customer business. So basically we are selling these building blocks to our customers, and then they are making their own end customer offerings on top of those. We are working in an operation model where the customers can order the Nordic services from one single point of contact. So, for example, we have certain customers who are buying all of the Nordic services from Finland. We have both Nordic services, where we have aligned the offering across all of the countries, and then we have certain local offerings where the actual content of the offering might differ a bit country by country. IP transit is one of the examples from the latter category. So then, if I move forward, so a few words about the Telia network architecture going forward. We have a concept called regional network strategy. The kind of background for this is that we have understood that there are different kind of latency categories of internet traffic, which we all recognize. At Telia, we have divided these into three different latency categories. So the first one is internet traffic. So latency above 10 milliseconds. Actually, most of the traffic in Telia Finland's network falls into this category. In these, the customers are basically able to tolerate high fluctuation in the latency, and they don't have such a high expectations on the service level of the traffic. Then we have business critical traffic. So there could be, for example, end user applications that are highly sensitive to the latency. Typically, we are talking about sub 10 millisecond latencies. And then the final is low latency, so less than 1 millisecond. Along the 5G era, this latency category is kind of becoming more and more popular, although the amounts of the applications is quite small still nowadays. A typical example could be some kind of industrial application where the data needs to be processed on time, typically on on-prem implementations. With this categorization of the latencies, we have divided the Telia network into 8 regional zones. And the idea is that within a particular zone, we are able to provide the business critical traffic demands. We are able to comply to those. So basically in these regions, we typically have a larger co-location site, a data center, and then we are able to provide locally different capacity services that are complying with the sub 10 millisecond latency requirement. Then, as part of this regional strategy, one of or the biggest co-location site that we have is the Helsinki data center located in Pitäjänmäki, Helsinki. This is actually the biggest carrier-neutral data center in the whole Nordic area. We have excellent connectivity to all of the major operators in Finland, and now also Physics has established a peering point within the Helsinki data center. We have several international operator customers present in Helsinki data center, as well as all of the biggest local operators in Finland. This is a modern facility. If you ever get to have the chance, please go and visit Helsinki data center. We have Michael Holm sitting in the back row. Michael is our data center expert, so to say. So if you have any further detail level questions, please go ahead and discuss with Michael later on. A few points still. So, for example, the electricity feed into the HDC is fully redundant, which is of course quite important in these days. And also we have 4 meet-me rooms around the facility, so basically guaranteeing you redundancy with the fiber connections as well. Then to the apologies, by the way, some of these slides are still in Finnish, but I will go through them, so no worries if you cannot understand. Relating to the peering and IP transit topic, we have basically 2 products in Telia Finland. IP transit, so which is a product providing either global, national, or local routing alternatives. Capacities ranging from 100 meg up to 100 gig nowadays. In the IP transit solution, we have implemented dual access option, basically meaning that you get 2 totally physically separate IP transit connections, but the traffic is aggregated on top of both of those, so it will make commercially quite an attractive combination. DDoS mitigation is naturally also available. The public pairing, so we have productized the pairing at Physics, and the public pairing connections are available in Helsinki, Espoo, and Oulu locations currently, and Telia is present in those locations with our own ASPR node as well. The commercial model for invoicing is similar both in the pairing and IP transit product. So basically you are paying for a commitment capacity, and then there is an option for burst billing in case the actual traffic amount is exceeding the committed capacity. Then we have also possibility for private peering. So this basically means physically isolated connectivities between Telia Finland and the other party. But to be able to be compliant with the settlement free basis pairing, then the party needs to comply with Telia pairing policies. In the presentation, I have a link to the pairing policy. It's in open internet, so it's available to everybody. I picked a few of the main points from the pairing policy. The first one is that the pair should operate a fully redundant and resilient network that is covering over 75% of the populated parts in Finland. So this is of course already restricting the amount of eligible peering partners to just a few players in Finland in practice. The pair must also be willing to establish diverse physical interconnections in the locations where Telia Finland is present. And then one important thing is also the exchange of traffic. So we are allowing traffic from the pairing partners only from the directly connected paying customers. So in a sense, traffic forwarding from other providers is not permitted. And then our pair is also expected to announce their full route set to Telia Finland, and typically this works in a vice versa fashion as well. And then the IP prefix ranges are listed there as well. And there is the public link to the pairing policy.
Excuse me. Do you have any requirements of registering routes to IRR like RIPE?
Yes, to pairing the DP is a requirement as well.
Right.
Yes.
And how about RPKI?
I cannot answer that.
Okay.
Okay, but that was my last slide. So any further questions? Yes, please go ahead. Sorry?
Does the data center have a sauna?
At least that it has so much excessive heat that it would be possible, but I think, Michael, we don't have a sauna yet, or?
It's allowed in the data center, so that's the reason why we don't have a sauna either.
Speaking of sauna, will you stay for the sauna this evening so people
I
can
will
talk
at
to you?
least stay for the evening dinner, so free.
So
Please,
if you
please
want to
come
ask
and
something
discuss with
privately,
me. Yep.
then catch him
Yeah.
during dinner.
Please do.
Any more questions? Okay, so let's give a big hand to Kimmo.